1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And Wyoming Sports Talk Today for Monday afternoon is being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers, RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. Again, your home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. Some select 18s still on the lot. 19s are in. So get on by and check out the car of your dreams from the Kia family today. See my good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew over at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Pine Valley Bank, 2 banking locations. You can catch Rick and the great staff. You will see them over on Van de High, the original location. And, of course, the east side location can be found right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. Get a hold of Gene and the great staff over there and let them put those prescriptions together and explain those medications to you. Bluegrass Circle right next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body. Couple of locations for you. The main auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue and the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, where they have great APYs right now on their CD rates, so talk to them. I do believe 16 and 27-month CDs. Talk with Tim and the great staff today. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Across the street, Joe Mondello and the gang invite you to come on by for delicious pizza pie. And again, Paisan cuisine, always best and fresh from Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Don't forget them. Again, as you hear, plumbing or heating, they are experts in all fields. Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get our program underway with our scoreboard, and our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Looking at local action from this past weekend there at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center with the Cheyenne Stampede as they played host to the Casper Bobcats. Cheyenne Stampede taking 2 out of 3 against the Casper Bobcats in the final regular season home contest for the Cheyenne Stampede. Friday's contest was a 6-4 victory for the Stampede, and for Sunday's matinee, it was a 5-2 victory for the Cheyenne Stampede. Stampede will be in action coming up and next weekend as they will be on the road in Ogden to see the Ogden Mustangs. NHL action for tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs will play host to the Buffalo Sabres. Montreal Canadiens will travel to New Jersey to see the Devils. Tampa Bay Lightning, the league-leading Tampa Bay Lightning, will play host to the LA Kings. Edmonton Oilers travel to Nashville to see the Preds at Bridgestone Arena. Colorado Avalanche at the Pepsi Center will see the Florida Panthers. And the Anaheim Ducks travel all the way up north to Vancouver to see the Canucks. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
Warriors on the road tonight. They will be in the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, to take on the Hornets. Trailblazers will match up with the Cavaliers, the Quicken Loans Arena at the Little Caesars Arena in Motown. Pacers and the Pistons on tap for tonight. Spurs and the Nets in the Barclays Center. In Brooklyn, it will be the Suns and the Heat in American Airlines Arena in Miami. In the United Center in Chicago, the Bulls will entertain the Milwaukee Bucks. Hawks and the Rockets tonight in the Toyota Center. It is a full slate of games. Lakers and the Grizz at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Sacramento Kings. Sacramento visits Timberwolves in Minnesota at the Target Center, in Minneapolis, I should say. 76ers and the Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. And at Staples, it will be the Mavericks and the Clippers later on this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It's nice to be in-house and do our program once again from 3 until 5. Larry Perotti, Nick Perotti, and we'll bring on our first guest here in just a moment. You know, Nick, it's interesting that the town, especially when it's concerned with athletics, it's like we've already gone through the debacle that was LCCC. And
even before LCCC, the debacle that was with the Cheyenne Mustangs and the Caba tournament as well. Again, it just one after another after another.
And it seems to be in the athletic world, and I just don't get this. But we bring on Steinbrenner of the West, a.k.a. Mark Lantz, who is the owner general manager of the Cheyenne Stampede. And again,
we'll ask you to move that mic in front of your mouth as well, too, Mark. We want to hear every word that you can there you go.
Last time we had Mark on, Mark made the announcement.
Don't play with my mic.
That he was going to look for an investor or 2 or 3, or if it was deemed okay by the Western States Hockey League, go ahead and sell it outright. If maybe it was time for he and his wife, who now both are grandparents, and maybe it's time to shuffle off the buffalo and call it a career.
Well, he wants to go up to Alaska and do all that fun stuff.
It doesn't matter.
But again,
he always likes to fish with the fish with the one eye.
But again, also too looking for investors for again the Cheyenne Stampede to at least improve this team, or at least get it to the likes where, as you put it, again Ogden, Utah, who can kind of foot a larger bill and look at where they're at the top of the Mountain Division, if not the best teams right now in the Western States Hockey League. It's, hey, you got to spend money. It's kind of the MLB situation of Yankees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yankees, Dodgers, they're putting up a lot of money here, and they're essentially kind of buying their wins. Well, in order to compete, we got to do kind of the similar things.
Well, and again, without getting Mark involved with this, we've already had that discussion. Also, too, you sit here and you look at dollars and cents. Well, anyway, the paper. Tyler Pulaski, if I do believe, finally got both sides, I guess we'll say, of the story in the paper. For those of you that don't receive it anymore, because I guess they raised the price on it $22 or something like that. A lot of people already told the paper, go pound sand. They're not going to renew. So for those of you that did not read the paper and don't have it anymore, Mark Lantz is with us again to tell us, and I guess...
It's more so to at least address a few things that
we're
in that article.
We're not going to put him on the pedestal on the probing part here, because I already know his feelings. I've already got my feelings issued about it too. And just so we are all fair about this, we did send out the bat signal to the mayor.
Yes, I did send her an email earlier this morning. Have not even heard back from her as of about 30 minutes ago. So, again, have at least, like I did with Clark Rasmussen with LCCC, again, I've done with the mayor. I've kind of at least given her that open forum of saying, hey, here's your chance to address those comments that you made in that article on Sunday's paper.
And she wants to be on the milk carton, that's fine. So we have Mark Lantz in here. And Mark, your story was published. The city's rebuttal, so to speak, was also put in yesterday's paper. And I don't want to say rebuttal. It was more of, here's why this is happening. And you're saying, hey, this is quote-unquote breaking us, work with us, and there's not any give and take anymore with this administration, as opposed to when Richard Kaysen introduced you and Tammy to the media back in 2008?
I almost think it was
2009.
I think it goes back to Don Erickson introducing us, and then Kaysen came in that following season. So
that'd be Jack Spiker then. Spiker / Kaysen.
Well, yeah, Spiker / Kaysen. It was in the works, and then with.
But you were officially introduced to the media under the Rick Kaysen administration.
Absolutely.
So everybody was all on board for this back at the time. So a lot of the stuff that was done back in the day, this would be with Rick Kaysen, Rick Parrish, Todd Feeser, when we had a Parks and Recreation Department, things of that nature. Back then, correct me if I'm wrong, was it either the Icon Center / Taco John Center / now Cheyenne Ice and Event Center? I mean, that has been a debacle from day one. That it was put together.
But
they finally got an inhabitant in you.
Yeah, but the thing is that's just naming rights, and Cheyenne, Wyoming's not used to naming rights like the Pepsi Center or any of the big centers. So that's just the naming rights of the arena. So we can move from that. That's not a sticker.
But again, we go back to all of this. So you sit down. I'm bringing this team into town. You guys knew what the cost was going to be. Like a lot of small businesses, it is a locally owned, locally operated business. We're not just filthy rich. We're not rolling in gobs of dough. And you knew the undertaking, what it was going to be when you came into town. Tell us exactly where we're at from day one to where we're at today.
Well,
capitalize it.
Yeah, day one, we are, our first seasons here, we had income streams that were available to make the team grow. There seems to be a hang-up with the additional income streams that the team received to be able to make the team go on the road. Everybody seems to think it costs a few pennies to take a team, down to Ogden, to Las Vegas, to Salt Lake, to Fresno. Those trips are anywhere from $3,000 to $9,000 a trip when you got to consider your travel, your motel, hotel, your meals for the players, salaries and for people to go and the advanced reservations. And so that's what the extra income streams went for. The administration at the time of us coming in the last, the first 6-7 years, they all understood that. They cut us a little bit of a break on non-primetime ice. They let us sell advertising to our sponsors, which was huge. And as the new administration came in, the ice times, ice fees that we pay all went up. We started up. They went up above 50% on the original negotiations.
Yeah, according to Tyler, at least his findings in that article, it went up 52% increase, at least at the beginning, or at least, again, of this new administration. And then recently went up another 26% more, again, of that quote-unquote, at least, ice time that you use for also to, again, the prime time and non-prime time, which includes, again, game nights and also to your practices during the day there at the Ice and Event Center.
Right. We renegotiated, so it did not go to the 52% because we couldn't afford it. Quite frankly, we could not afford it. And at this time when we're saying we couldn't afford it, we still had the advertising contract. We still had other income streams that we used. So we negotiated to get it down to X percentage, I think, 27 to 30%. And then that's about as far as we could go. And we were back up against the wall because we had drug it out till almost July, I believe, June or July.
Yeah.
And before we had a signed contract. And the league knew that. I told them we were having a signed contract. And so they let us kind of blow over the mandated, hey, are you going to play next year or not deadline. And we're doing the same thing this year. We've got a signed contract through 2020, but they know that we're looking at bringing on new investors or trying to sell the franchise outright. So the league knows that. They're working with us. They're not enforcing the mandated February 28th deadline that I've got to say yes or no we're playing.
Yeah, again, that was something that we brought up and you mentioned to us about in that article that Tyler did put up in the Wyoming Tribune and Eagle, that he stated that the Western States Hockey League mandated the Thursday deadline to secure investors for the Cheyenne Stampede, which you're saying is incorrect.
Well, that is the deadline. February 28th
it
is a mandated deadline, but the league doesn't want to get rid of one of their oldest teams.
So basically the league is kind of saying, they're flexible with that date.
Yeah, because they, I talk to our league commissioner daily, if not weekly, and he knows exactly what we're up to, and we're trying. Literally, it comes down to we're trying to keep the team in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We don't want it to move. We think it's an important entertainment venue, and it's something that we'd like to, of course I would. I'd like to keep it here. But if it comes down to it, no. If somebody from L.A. makes the offer and wants to move the franchise to, Timbuktu, well, I guess Timbuktu is going to luck out. So
that'd be the unfortunate thing, again, where Cheyenne, again, attending Sunday's contest, again, the final home game, or at least regular season home game for the Cheyenne Stampede, a good crowd. And, again, you've had good crowds on hand. Watching your team as much as, again, it's been a rough couple, at least past seasons, but you still have supporters. Again, Cheyenne still has a community. Again, hockey fans still come out and support the Stampede. And, again, you would figure that this community is going to be hurt if they lose the Cheyenne Stampede.
Well, Saturday night we had probably 700 people in the stands. Sunday, which is usually the worst turnout for fans, I think, Nick, you were there. I think there was a couple hundred. There was at least a couple hundred in there.
It was one of the better Sunday crowds.
One of the better Sunday crowds. And, that's the thing. It's I guess it all comes down to different items stacking up with the price increase, the takeaway of the advertising income streams, taking away all of our income streams. And I mean, even our income streams go back as far as we, our nonprofit, which is Stampede Sports, may serve the beer at a MMA fight, or they may do it at a city event like the chicken curling. All that's been removed from us, where we don't even have an opportunity to do that.
Now, has this all come down from the mayor's office, or is this city council driven?
Well, I do not know. The city councilman I've talked to, they know very little about the Stampede. So I cannot answer or point a finger exactly where or who's doing it. But
I want to focus on that little thing that Mark said there, where again it's the city council doesn't recognize the Cheyenne Stampede, and it sounds like, again, the comments made by the mayor, at least towards Tyler in that article, it sounds like she's not quite aware of what the Stampede does, and again, what their contribution to the city is.
I think the mayor, again, in my opinion, has put her foot in her mouth again.
And we'll give our opinions.
No, I'm saying she's put her foot in her mouth and doesn't have an idea what small business is all about. Because, as I recall from that article, talking about, we need it for birthday parties and bumper cars and other events.
Well,
that thing, wait a minute, let me finish. That event center, the Iceland Event Center, is not used 365 days a year for functions. Am I right?
No, it has not yet.
And half of the year, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are on the ice during times when there's nobody on the ice, so the city is making money.
That's the main thing with a junior hockey team coming to town. And I was leading to this. A junior hockey team comes to town where there's city-run arenas. The city basically rubs their hands together and says, "Great, I'm going to get $50,000 to $70,000 of guaranteed income for non-primetime ice, for ice that's not used in the middle of the day." We've had practices late mid-morning. This year, our practices start at 2:00 in the afternoon, 2 to 3:30. People are at work, school. There's not a pile of seniors out there skating. it's a perfect time where you should be able to budge on your budget a little bit at non-prime time ice and say, well, 85% of what we want is better than zero.
Yeah.
And it's guaranteed income to the budget for any ice arena around.
And something I want to address again, going back to that article, and I'll toss out one quote from the mayor as well, too, towards you, Mark. But in the article, Mayor Orr did mention that she wanted to do away with subsidizing the at least ice and event center. It was, at least this is her direct quote from that article. It was made clear that the community was not happy with subsidizing the ice and event center. Also, too, another quote from the mayor, the program was losing money. Having Stampede under the prior contract, or at least arrangement, was being subsidized by the taxpayers, which we didn't feel was fair, end quote. Again, hearing those kind of statements there, again, seeing that from that article, I mean, what are your thoughts, again, when the mayor at least says, hey, we had to subsidize through the Stampede. Stampede weren't making any money. It was costing the taxpayers, and the taxpayers kind of made it vocal of, well, we're tired of kind of footing the bill here.
You know, I guess in a roundabout way, it could have been somebody could say, yeah, the city subsidized the Stampede. You know, in a very, very roundabout way. So I don't buy that. You weren't subsidizing the Stampede. The Stampede didn't get any cash from you. It goes back to what I said. Do you want if ice hours cost $100 an hour, which they're more like double that. If ice costs you $100 and it's sitting there empty, it would behoove you, as any businessman would say, well, I get 85% of 100. I'll let that go.
85% is better than zero.
Yeah, and that has been the bell I've rang for 2 years with this administration, and quite frankly, I just don't think they get it.
We are talking with GM and owner Mark Lantz on 1480 KRAE. I do believe we have a call coming in, so let's go to our phone line. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Hi, yeah, this is Dan Lang. I used to work for the Cheyenne Stampede, and I was listening to the show, and I just kind of wanted to call in and see if I could maybe get a comment in.
Go ahead. Lay it on us.
Okay, well, I think the biggest thing that the city of Cheyenne is losing is growing the game of hockey in Wyoming. If something doesn't happen, I know Mark and Tammy personally. I've known them since I was a kid. I've known them for the last 20 years, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that they've done everything in their power to make sure that the game of Wyoming hockey grows. And it's unfortunate that it has come to this, that the city has taken away all their revenue streams in terms of advertising around the rink. If you go to the rink today, you see there are no dasher board advertisements. The wall advertisements are gone from the Cheyenne Stampede in terms of their ability to sell them. But I just think that Mark and Tammy have done such a great job, and I hope that there is a resolution that comes before they lose this team, because it's a great loss not only to the city of Cheyenne but the state of Wyoming in terms of hockey.
Dan, thank you so much for the comments. We appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
All right. Well, you know, and also, too, and Dan makes a good point. The dasher boards around the rink belong to the city now.
Right.
Powers Field, correct me if I'm wrong, along with Pioneer Park, belongs to the city. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
However, and again, I don't really want to throw anybody under the bus on the baseball side, but correct me if I am wrong. Out in the outfield, hanging on the fences, or advertisements.
Advertising from their sponsors.
That's right, which I would venture to say, correct me if I'm wrong on this. And again, I don't want to overstep here because, gee, I don't want to sound like I don't know anything. But let's talk about this, though. I would assume the city is getting a cut from those signs out there at Pioneer Park as well as Powers Field.
The last I asked, Larry, you're wrong. They are not charging the baseball teams or any of the other teams in Cheyenne Brimmer fields, the softball fields.
Okay.
They are not charging. And I had literally asked that question to
The
Jason.
city would be making all the money off Brimmer then.
I'd asked that question to Jason Sanchez and was told that they were thinking about it.
Okay, well, now, do we have another call coming in next? So let's go to the phone line here real quick. Obviously, you're a popular person here on 1480 KRAE. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Hi, this is Vicki Soper, and this is a very near and dear to my heart because we are not only huge Stampede fans, we are Billet family. We have supported the Stampede. I've actually been a sponsor. I sponsored Mark and Tammy last year, and I did have a dasher board. So we're not just talking about ice time and stuff like that. What about the things that the Stampede brings to our community? You know, we have at any time 20, 30 kids. They come. They not only play hockey here, they do numerous hours of community service. Community service that not only benefits the Stampede, also the city of Cheyenne. When we have the parade, the parade of lights downtown, those boys walk around and put signs up for the city. All for free. That's their community service. So there's other things that the mayor and their administration is not really looking at. It's the things that we really, truly, that the Stampede brings to the city. These kids come here, they eat at McDonald's. They are constantly supporting our town. And it's very unfortunate. And I don't know. I don't know what to do with our administration.
Well,
I will do everything I can to support the Stampede.
Well, that's why we have Mark join us here. Hey, Vicki, thank you so much for the call. We got to get to a break here. We're past break time.
We'll certainly address it as well, too.
Well, yeah, and again, too, I don't think, real quick here before we go into the break, this is not about the Stampede. It's about, because, again, the Stampede, it's not what they do for the community and the billet families, and we already know that. We know the impacts of what the Stampede has done. You posted a picture on your Twitter page the other day. I think it was the check that was given to CRMC.
CRMC Foundation, and let me add to that, that brings, since the Cheyenne Stampede we always have a cancer awareness game series, that brings us right under $20,000 this one little team has contributed to CRMC cancer.
And again, like I said, it's not about those things. It's about what's going on right now, and it's a couple of bulls that are butting heads, and one of them needs to kind of back off and understand what small business is all about. And we'll be back after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. How about these radio specials heard only right here? Dos Equis Amber or Lager or Beers of Mexico. 12-pack of 12-ounce cans or bottles, $13.59. Seagram's 7 Crown Canadian Whiskey, 1 liter bottle, $12.99. And Rum Chata Cream Liqueur, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low price leader.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, it's going to be partly sunny. Look for a daytime high of 45. Mostly cloudy for tonight with a low down to 23. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. Expect a daytime high of 52. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 30 degrees. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 42 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball!
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. GM owner Mark Lantz joining us here on the program. And again, as we're talking about the Stampede, again, thank you to the calls that we've had. A couple of Stampede family member, Vicky, and then, of course,
Bill and family. Yeah, again, a lot have at least had ties with the Cheyenne Stampede, but want to go back to Vicky's comments there of what she said, and something that we've, again, have been open and honest and tried to at least illuminate the city of Cheyenne of what the Stampede have done. And again, talking about community service, where recently, again, handing that $2,000 check to the foundation, to the Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, at least the foundation. Again, what you do for the parades, again, putting up those signs, Thanksgiving, the food drives that you do, everything for the community of, again, for the city of Cheyenne. It almost, for the city council and the mayor's office, kind of fell on deaf ear, at least kind of deaf ears.
It's the public service aspect that the Stampede provides.
And again, also, too, it was something that you reminded me as well, too. You're back-to-back community service, at least award-winning, at least a franchise where, at least by the chamber, that, again, they've recognized you as one of the top businesses in Cheyenne to, at least for your community service efforts.
As well as Visit Cheyenne as well.
Yeah, those two organizations are great. They understand what it's about. Junior hockey, that's what it's about. Not only do we try to improve and develop players on the ice, but we are one of our main pillars, as you can look on our website, one of our main pillars is to teach our boys citizenship. And that's part of being a good citizen in any town, no matter where you are. And, we hope that being a good citizen converts to butts in the seats. Usually does. But we have given tens of thousands of dollars away, hundreds of thousands over the course of as long as the Stampede have been here. We continually support the F.E. Warren Air Force Base from our military appreciation. We just Friday night we just gave dollars to the Warren Wives Club scholarship program, so others can benefit. We in the past have give it to the Airmen's Readiness Center. We've given money this last Thanksgiving to the AIM Foundation, Glenn Chavez's AIM Foundation, that feeds soldiers that don't have anywhere to go on a holiday. We've donated and gave tickets and etc. to Project 22, different organizations that are all military. So it goes on and on. I mean, we've given and given and given. We've given to the Alzheimer's Association. It's just more community service that we do that we feel is important for our young men to understand what goes on.
But the resume, to me, is important, don't get me wrong. But to the city, it's all about the Benjamins. Okay? So, again, and guys, listen to me on this one, because I've got all those awards up there too, Mark. You know how much time I've given, countless hours in my 40 years of doing this and ringing bells and showing up at, every different function and digging in my pocket, throwing $1 and $2 here. I know what you guys have done, and that is commendable. But again, too, here's what bothers me about the city here as we get into this. You had the advertising boards up on the walls there, as I remember.
Dasherboards.
The dasherboards. You sold it, because I remember you asked my help at one time. Hey, you got anybody here that can help us? Like, well, no, not really, but, we'll give you some tips. We'll give you some people who to go call.
Right.
And again, you go out there, you sell it. You got that sponsorship money. But in the meantime, where I would sell advertising and pay a commission to one of my salespeople, which is a far lot less, I pay the standard. You are giving the city a hell of a lot more for commission that they didn't do nothing to do.
Right.
They had nothing to do with it.
We paid the city 35% commission. And I think Nick and I were looking at some figures over.
We calculated it out from 2011 to at least 2018, August 2018. You have paid total commissions. Again, this is at least something that you handed to me a couple of minutes ago. In total, $63,080.52. Again, since 2011 to 2018 in commissions to the city, which approximated, again, 35% of, at least in total, of about $180,000 of advertising, at least revenue.
Right,
Again,
and we were happy to do that, guys. We were happy to do that.
No, and I understand that, Mark, but what I'm saying is they did not do anything.
They put them up. They put the signs. They put them up or took them down.
Boy, the labor was the tough part on that one for them, but $63,000 went to the city, okay? That's a heck of a deal there. Plus, you are paying them for ice time, which is dead time at the Ice and Event Center, and I'm sure that the laser tag is not booming at 2 p.m.
I don't even think it's still in operation. I don't know.
Whatever, and the refreshment area is not working at that time. I'm sure it's dead time where the city is making money off the Cheyenne Stampede. Again, you and I both have had this discussion for years now. We're not getting rich owning our own businesses.
No, and with the Stampede, Larry, let me make this perfectly clear. With the Stampede, Tammy and I's goal was just to break even every year. And
ditto on my side.
It was just literally to break even. We enjoyed it. It's a passion of mine. It's become a passion of Tammy's. I don't know if it's a passion I hate now, but it's a passion of Tammy's. But when you start stacking up all the little things that were taken away, we're throwing in big dollars now just to keep the team here. I cannot afford to do that.
Well, and the interesting thing, talk about here it is $63,000 that you've given to the city of Cheyenne. That again, without a Cheyenne Stampede or a hockey franchise in town, they have not seen that money at all. But interesting, going back to that article, going back to a few statements from the mayor and Marion Orr, what she had to say to Tyler Paluski. One quote. The Stampede is a fraction of what we do at the Ice and Event Center, end quote. They also, too, she also happened to say that the Stampede is certainly not a revenue maker for the city of Cheyenne, end quote. Now, according to Tyler's article, and it's something that you kind of at least put a little bit of question, you said it was a little bit conservative of a number, but in Tyler's finding, it was $735,630 a year that the Stampede's economic impact on the city, at least of what his findings were. And again, you're saying that's a little, at least conservative, but I mean, that's still $250,000.
I'm telling you, three quarters.
Yeah, three quarters, yeah.
I'm telling you that's real conservative because you take the raw number, which is, I think, what Tyler quoted in his article. You take that raw number and you ask any one of the economists around, that number then is multiplied by 3 or 7 times. Because that's how many times a dollar turns over in a local community. I don't know where they get it. I'm not an econ guy, but so you could actually inflate that even more. So that is a conservative number. And things that are in there are coaches that we've hired that have been brought to town that are buying or rented houses. Yep. Players that come to town, as Vicky pointed out, as players that come to town and stay with host families, they still pay the host families a billet fee, so that there's money there. But those players, for whatever reason, they're going out to eat and they're having a good time with their buddies, with their teammates. So they're visiting restaurants. They've got cars. We've had several players buy cars here out at Motor City out there, whatever it's called. But we've had several players buy cars from those guys. The team has bought cars. The team has bought a shuttle bus. I mean, coaches are paid a salary, either bought or rented. And then that's just
That's the homeboys. What about the visiting teams?
What about that's exactly where I was going. So every weekend that there's a home game, they're staying. The visiting team's getting fed here. They're buying 2 to 3 meals a day for the team. They're staying 2 or 3 nights in a local hotel.
Yeah, I don't think Casper was traveling back and forth to Casper to go play the 3-game homestand. I really don't think so.
No, they visited a local sole proprietor ownership of a restaurant that has been so good that has fed us, which is Brian Eckholtz at Capital Cuisine. I mean, Brian's bent over backwards to help our team and help visiting teams on food. Red Lion Inn is where our players stay or where our visiting teams stay right now. I mean, it's just let's fill up the bus. Let's go to Flying J or Love's and get another load of diesel so we can get back to wherever we're visiting from. So, I mean, there's a lot of money spent. There's a lot of money spent here in town, and that doesn't include the fans. Casper, I don't know, Nick, you were at Sunday's game, which is the worst attended games, but Sunday there was 25 Casper fans that had driven down here, that had done the exact same thing, stayed here in Cheyenne, bought food, went to our mall. In fact, we know one Casper person that came down that actually went out to Halliday's to buy a car on Saturday. So I don't know if that happened, but there's a huge impact of what a minor league sports team brings in.
But it's amazing, though, that it comes directly from the leader of this city, the mayor, Marion Orr, who comes out in that article, again, to Tyler this past Sunday and says the Cheyenne Stampede are not a revenue maker. Yeah, at least certainly not a revenue maker for the city of Cheyenne. But yet, again, we have all this.
We got different opinions.
Yeah, I don't understand how we have differing opinions on that, where, again, we know it, again, being a part of LCCC, of being on those road trips, of where, again, at least those buses have the gas up in those respectable cities. We stay in the Holiday Inns or wherever of Riverton, Sheridan, all over the place. We understand, hey, that's money going into those local businesses. We're eating at those local restaurants, whether it is fast food or whatever it may be. We've been there, did it, done it. So we understand of, hey, basketball, hockey, baseball, it's all the same.
I don't know one of our teams that doesn't pull into a convenience store when they're leaving town, and every one of those kids get off, and you know what they buy. They go buy the junk. They get their Gatorade.
They got to buy the junk, and also to stop off for old man to hit the bathroom break.
Yeah, that's a common for me. I'm 60, almost 62.
Anyway,
so let me ask this question: why? And I'll ask both of you. Why would the mayor make this statement? That the Stampede is certainly not a revenue maker for the city of Cheyenne. Because you're not making tens of millions of dollars, you're only making $750,000. Again, if you have Darren Rudloff from the Visitor and Conventions Bureau, you've got Dale Steenbergen, who's the Chamber of Commerce president, who is a supporter of local business, which you are, which I am. Why would the mayor make this foot in the mouth statement?
I guess that maybe she's looking at her city budget, what money's going in, and their figured cost of being non-subsidized. I mean, that's what I've been told. I mean, I've been told that by city officials that it runs the ice rink cost $165 an hour to keep the doors open. Okay, well, and it goes. I go back to would you like 0 or would you like 85%? And it appears that we don't pay them full rate on everything.
Well, even 85%, 0. How about, again, $750,000 economic impact on the city, or how about none?
Well, that's the same thing.
Again, the conservative 3/4. Yeah.
But that's not counted if that's not in the city coffers.
Right.
Yeah. That's not in the coffers down there in O'Neill. That's not theirs. It comes out it takes care of a lot of private and sole proprietor businesses that are in Cheyenne, Wyoming, they seem to get it. They understand that it puts money into theirs. You know, I go down and pay for lunches, and Brian probably won't be happy with this at Capital Cuisine, but I go pay for lunches and, you know, write him $1,000 check to pay for our team's lunches. You know, where was that coming in the dead of winter? Where was he going to make that up in the dead of winter? And that's just only one restaurant we use.
And it's something that the mayor needs to realize of kind of a ripple effect that's going to happen again. As you talk with the small businesses, you can attest to it, at least to Pops across, at least to my right, you, at least with you, Mark, of the ripple effect that this could cause if the Stampede do not exist of, well, all right, that $1,000 meal that you're paying, well, that's $1,000 that he can't pay his employees because he doesn't have that revenue stream coming in.
Or
now,
lights, rent,
anything at all.
There we go. We're talking about how many times that dollar turns over.
But also too, here's, and again, you know, as we're chucking it all on the mayor. Okay, but we also got to remind you, Nick and Mark, of the staff that she has around her and who she's appointed to run facilities,
and especially in that Parks and Rec department,
and to discuss contracts with the Stampede or whoever goes in there. And again, let's take the negative. The Stampede is out. Okay, you guys are gone. You started ice time in August. Correct me if I'm wrong.
September. Yeah.
First
of September.
September through March.
Yeah.
Okay, let's throw out all that ice time on dead time because there's school starting in August, which goes until December before they have a two-week Christmas break. My point is, like you said, where is the revenue going to come from? As the mayor said, correct me if I'm wrong, birthday parties, that's going to happen every day. Bumper cars are going to happen every day. The chamber's going to have a business-to-business expo every day there on the ice. Give me a break. You know, and again, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired of people that are in positions that have no business being in that position and trying to run people out of business. And you know what? If it happens in 2020 and an election comes about, maybe somebody needs to be voted out of office.
Yep.
Let's go to the phone lines again. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk today. Almost at the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show.
My name is Jim Cherrick, and I've been involved with the Stampede from the beginning, and I just want to throw a couple things in there. The bumper car thing that the mayor keeps talking about, and this is public knowledge, they were allotted $141,000 to buy those. Whether they paid that or not, I don't know. It didn't come out of the budget of the ice arena. It came out of another part of their budget. They're never going to pay those things off. They're not used that often. The way the rink is run, it could make more money if they had people in there that knew what they were doing and would run it. You wait at the concession stand sometimes the whole period to get something because the people there don't want to wait on you. If the Stampede leaves town, it's going to hurt the whole town. Hotels, places to eat, like Mark said, all that kind of stuff. The article that she put in the paper, Mark trying to sell the team or get investors, they're going to read that, and they're going to say, this mayor isn't going to work with us. Why would we want to invest there?
I got you. All right, Jim. Hey, thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. So we are getting close to the top of the hour. Do we need to take another break here, Nick?
Yeah,
let's do that real quick. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more and Mark Lantz here on 1480 KRAE.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Totally transformed. The new 2019 Kia Soul has an eye-catching exterior with an interior to match. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. And the new 2019 Kia Soul has more to choose from, like available cool ventilated seats or heated seats for winter comfort. Kia Soul also has available technology like UVO, voice command navigation, automatic temperature control, and smart key with push-button start. Come by and compare Kia Soul today at Kia of Cheyenne or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with the name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West Energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. How about these radio specials heard only right here? Dos Equis Amber or Lager or Beers of Mexico. 12-pack of 12-ounce cans or bottles, $13.59. Seagram 7 Crown Canadian Whiskey, 1-liter bottle, $12.99. And Rum Chata Cream Liqueur, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low price leader. Winter driving in Wyoming. Are you prepared? Winter storms strike quickly across Wyoming's high plains and the mountains. When they do, driving conditions can deteriorate rapidly and become very challenging. Make sure your vehicle is ready for the elements and you have an emergency preparedness kit available. Driving on slick roads, always remember slower speed, acceleration, steering, and braking. Also turn off the cruise control and always buckle up. Ice and snow. Take it slow. Know before you go. For travel info, call 511 or online at wyoroad.info. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your vehicle, and most of it is a minor problem. And John at Shine Auto Repair and Service knows the right way to get you back on track. So with temperatures heading south, now's the perfect time to winterize your car or truck. This can be done with a simple oil change, maybe a tune-up, checking the thermostat, brakes, and shocks. It's the little and important repairs that Cars has performed on all makes of vehicles now for over 25 years to keep you motoring along in any season. For an appointment, call 632-0498 or stop on by at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service, open Monday through Friday.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, it's going to be partly sunny. Look for a daytime high of 45. Mostly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 23. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. Expect a daytime high of 52. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 30 degrees. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 42 degrees.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
I do want to mention the phone number is 307-514-1071, 514-1071. And again, do you appreciate calls from Stampede folks? I'm not gonna push those out aside by any stretch of the imagination. Somebody from the city want to chime in too? Feel free, give us a call. If you got your side of the story, well, let's hear it because we're going by what we read. We're going by comments. Go ahead and answer the phone there and just put them on hold for a second, Nick. We're going by their comments. One by the mayor who's speaking on behalf of the city. And we're reading between the lines on this. Let's go back to the phone line here and welcome on our next caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Hello.
Hi, it's just Vicki again.
Yes, Vicki.
I have three more points that I have to make.
Lay it on us.
First of all, at what point does the junior hockey team have to provide the city money? Again, like we just said before you went on break, they are chasing our small business away, which we're supposed to be bringing small business to Cheyenne. That's what everybody says. Let's bring businesses to Cheyenne. Let's make it grow. Let's do all these wonderful things. They're actually chasing a small business away. So I have a small business, but nowhere does it say I have to provide the city with funds and make the city money. The city is not here to make us. They're here to provide different things, not for us to make them money. Am I making sense there?
Well, somehow, some way, in a roundabout way, you do give the city some money in the form of taxes.
But I'm not supposed to provide them with all my funds. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. I understand what you're saying. And I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm just saying, we, in a roundabout way, we do pay our share to them.
And so this is my other thing. The biggest complaint I hear in Cheyenne is people move away because there's nothing to do in Cheyenne. There's nothing to do. Everybody, young kids come in, they say there's nothing to do in Cheyenne. And here you have a hockey team that you can go and see and take your whole family to, have a great time. It's not, they did raise the prices, but it's affordable for a family to go and have a great time. And here we are chasing them out. And again, you're going to continue to have people say there's nothing to do in Cheyenne. And
Vicky,
but there is.
Vicky, let me address that. We had to raise prices. We had to raise prices to meet the increase in the ice costs. So everyone knows that. I know you know that.
Yep, I do know that, and I think that's terrible because it makes me angry. I don't know.
Well, Vicky, thank you for your call. We appreciate you calling back again, too. Thank you so much. All right, I know we're pushing up on the 4 o'clock hour, and again, we could sit here, and I don't want to bore people out of their gourd on this thing, but I think, this actually is, a 2-hour program in its own because, and again, I welcome anyone from the city to give us a call, and I want you to tell us why the Stampede are not the greatest thing since sliced bread, because obviously there's better ways to make revenue at the Ice and Event Center than the Stampede. So let's go to the phone line here. Good afternoon and welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hello.
Good. Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
Yeah, my name is Steve Vossler.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Good. Here's my point that I want to put in on this entire situation. And I think the city is getting greedy about this, all of this. I've been involved with the Cheyenne Stampede since its very beginning. I've also been involved with when they had the Cheyenne, the Coors Light Silver Boxing out at the Archer Complex. The city got involved in that because they were losing revenue because it was all taking place at the county, and they ended up bringing it into the Cheyenne area, into the Ice and Event Center. However, when they did that, they jacked our prices up so high that a lot of people weren't partaking in that information. They weren't going out, and they weren't participating in the fights at night. The city wants their hand in so much right now. I am very close to a small business. If it doesn't include Frontier Days, the city does not care that the small businesses are trying to make this money. This small business that I'm involved with, is it okay for the city to take a percentage of what they make on top of the taxes that they're already collecting off of it when they provide a service during Frontier Days? The city's just getting way out of hand and trying to get involved way too much with these private businesses. They want private businesses to come in. They need to start, helping them out and keeping them here.
All righty, Steve. Hey, thank you so much. We appreciate you calling. We're pushing up here on the top of the hour. Real quick, just the one comment, Mark, before we head to the top of the hour. I don't mind that the city is involved because there has to be somebody overseeing you. Don't have a problem with that. But you need to have somebody who knows what the business end is all about.
Oh, I would appreciate somebody that knows business, that knows recreation. I don't believe there's anybody in our rec department that has a degree in recreation that understands what public recreation is about. And we could go down that line. Do the golf courses make money? Do the swimming pool make money? Do the recreational facilities in Cheyenne, let alone anywhere else, make money. And I would venture to say my guess right now would be no, they don't.
And again, as we're getting close to that top of the hour, we need to do our at least legal thing. But my little tidbit, at least with this, is the city right now, it feels like it has built around the mayor, again, employees, especially in the rec department, of its employees that feel like, or at least to me, that don't know anything about athletics, don't know anything about recreation, but also don't care about athletics, don't care about recreation. And that's just how it feels like. Again, what we had with the Caba thing and the Cheyenne Mustangs, and now with the Cheyenne Stampede, again, two at least franchises here that help out local, at least help out the local community, local athletes as well too, even including with the Cheyenne Stampede, as you do have a few Cheyenne products on your team. It just has that feeling to me, at least seeing it on the outside, that again we have people in power right now of athletics and recreation that don't know what they're doing and don't care.
I see your point, but I'm going to disagree with you. I think they do care about athletics and recreation. They just have no business about business. And that's it. I think their lack of business skills are what are killing a lot of business right now. We need to take a timeout. We'll be back. Hour number 2, forthcoming here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet D in the Greenway Commons. See my good buddy Joe Mondello and the great crew over there at Mondello's Pizzeria. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body ×2, founded by Dick Lennox. Tradition carried on by daughter Heather. 25 years later, it's still going strong. Lennox Auto Body on Dunn Avenue. That's the Auto and Truck Repair Center. The Auto Glass and Detail Center can be found on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle. Platte Valley Bank with 2 banking locations. The original location on Vandehigh, and the east side location right there at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne, if you're looking for a new 2019, they're on the lot. Maybe you want to take a look at last year's model. You finally got some bucks and you're ready to go for it. Take a test drive today. There are some select 2018s left for you at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A right there at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. And again, a big thank you going out and shout out to my very good friends Ray and Cindy Mefford. They do a wonderful job there right across from Menards. 2 convenient drive-thrus, 3 squares served up 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You'll find them over on Highway 30, your home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Been around for a long, long time and still kicking it up over there on Highway 30. We also want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. They got some new promotions going on right now, so do check out what's happening over at Taco John's and get things underway. Our scoreboard is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Recapping from this past weekend with the Cheyenne Stampede as they were at home at the Ice Event Center. They took on the Casper Bobcats. For Friday, it was a 6-4 victory. For Saturday's contest, unfortunately, it went the Casper Bobcats' way in a 4-1 victory for Casper. But Sunday, however, to wrap up the regular season at home for the Cheyenne Cheyenne Stampede. It was a 5-2 victory for the Stamp. So the Stampede right now sit a point behind the Steamboat Wranglers as they will have a final season series against Ogden at the ice sheet, again against the Ogden Mustangs, coming up in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. NHL action for tonight as well. We will see the Toronto Maple Leafs at home taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Montreal Canadiens, they'll travel to New Jersey to see the Devils. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the league-leading Tampa Bay Lightning, will play host to the LA Kings. Edmonton Oilers travel to Bridgestone Arena to see the Nashville Preds. Down at the Pepsi Center, the Colorado Avalanche play host to the Florida Panthers, and the Anaheim Ducks travel all the way north to Vancouver to see the Canucks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Do want to remind you, upcoming this week, it's tournament time. The eastern portion of the state heading down here to Cheyenne for 4A basketball to see who will be our 4 seeds representing the East coming up in the state tournament next week in Casper. Nick, myself, we will be with the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles as they come out as the number 3 seed on the ladies' side. They will host number 6. Central Wyoming College Lady Rustlers.
How about go figure, both men and women CWC
the same teams again. And unfortunately, we can't be with the men because they're leaving Friday, and we can't get on the road with them on Friday, but we will have the ladies' action for you, 7 p.m. coming up on Saturday, and that will be visual only. Yeah. Periscope via Twitter.
Because guess what? Chris has got to be doing the radio thing for all of those high school basketball games as we bring you all 6 teams from Cheyenne East, South, and Central coming up.
He'd be a busy boy coming up here this weekend. Now we want to get to the NBA schedule for this evening. Warriors will be at the Hornets. Trailblazers will take on the Cavaliers in Cleveland. It will be the Pistons in Motown, the Little Caesars Arena, hosting the Pacers. Spurs and the Nets in Brooklyn. Suns and Heat at American Airlines Arena. At the United Center, the Bulls will entertain the Milwaukee Bucks. It'll be the Hawks at the Rockets. Lakers at the Grizz. Kings will be in Minneapolis to take on the Timberwolves at the Target Center. 76ers and the Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. And at Staples, the Clippers tonight hosting the Mavericks. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a 2-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Again, that telephone number is 307-514-1071, 514-1071. And, we're keeping Mark over here just for a few more minutes because, obviously, and thank you to all the phone calls that we have received. And again, kind of figured that we would get a lot of pro Stampede calls, and that's fine and dandy. Again, we got the line open for the city to give us a call, 514-1071. Let's hear your side of the story. But we're not hearing it. And those that we've issued the bat signal to have not responded back,
well,
as you've looked at.
Yeah,
right?
As I sent an email earlier to, again, Mayor Orr saying, hey, if you wanted to address your comments in the Sunday's article with Tyler, hey, be my guest. Again, it is an open forum to any official who does want to state, again, their argument to the issue or why the mayor would come out and say the things that she did say. So, again, as we did with LCCC AD Clark Rasmussen during that debacle, same will be here with the mayor and the city council or even the Parks and Rec department of, you got an open forum, I'll allow you to be heard.
No, good point there. Let's go back to what Nick just said. To me, it seems like the city council pretty much has their head in the sand on this one. And again, I don't mean to be disrespectful to the 9 members of the city council, but it seems like it's city government versus the Stampede.
the body of the 10 members, which includes the mayor, but those 9 members of city council, no one's weighing in on this. Why? Don't shake your head now. You gotta answer. You're gonna have to pony up to the bar in this one now.
I've spoke to a few of the Cheyenne City Council folks, and they're the few that I've spoken to are aware of it, but I don't think they're aware of the depth that this goes and the magnitude of how this is affecting the Stampede, the Stampede business. So, it comes down to it. I want to keep hockey in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I want to keep minor hockey, junior hockey in Cheyenne, Wyoming. What's worried me is now if we do leave, whose back is that going to be put on to make up this extra income? And that means it goes down to our younger kids, and that to me is dangerous. Hockey is a very expensive sport to play already, and if this doesn't make a dent in the bucket out there at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center, what's going to? Really, what's going to? You have a new event center coming out at Archer. You have a new event center being built within 2 years at Sweetgrass. What is going to make, I guess I look at this as a point. This is a city recreation facility. City recreation facilities are not supposed to be making money hand over fist on their citizens. They're there for quality of life issues. And, we're, and I guess it's, do all the city councilmen know this? Probably some do. Probably more do than I realize, but I also feel that they probably are ignoring it. Oh, well, Mark won't pull the plug on it.
Well, and here's something that, again, this is where we, at least with the advertising boards, again, everything of, you talk about, again, we talked about this prior to this season. You came on air and talked about, again, the city upping your rates of, again, that lost revenue. And it was a question I asked to you back then of, well, we're getting these calls in from billet families, from people who've been involved with the Stampede organization, who are fans as well, too. But is there something that fans alike, again, like a Vicky or whoever may be, can have their voices heard? Is it something that could they contact their city council, at least person, or, again, the mayor, give those emails, go to those city council meetings, and let their voices be heard? Is that something that you encourage, or is that something that they could do to say, hey, keep Stampede hockey, work with Stampede hockey, keep this team here in town?
Well, we've encouraged them to do, and a few of the folks that have went and literally tried to schedule appointments with the administration and tried to get in and talk, and some of them have, some of them won't, some of them just go, it's City Hall, that's what happens. And, that's bad, but I think most of their city councilmen would probably be real curious after the article in the paper and this show. It was mentioned on the local TV station last night. I imagine that they're probably wondering what the heck's going on. And so it'd be a perfect time to pick up the phone and talk to a city councilman or a mayor or the mayor's office.
Well, one thing too, and let's set the record straight on this. You're not dangling a carrot right now, saying, "Hey, I'm taking my football and going home." This is a matter of economics, and it's bad enough that you had to come on the program and say, "Hey, I need some help, and this is the reason why." And we are looking for investors, like you just said. And you just said it here. And we can go back and look at it. You don't want to take the team out of you. You want to keep the team. It's a love and a passion that you've had here. Yep. But by today's city economic standards, there's no way in hell.
It doesn't fit.
You can't function as a hockey family in this town. So, again, we could sit there and like you just said, get a hold of your city councilman, get a hold of the mayor's office. I'm rolling my eyes as I'm saying this because I know I know sometimes it falls on deaf ears and on purpose. But again, like I said earlier, before we went to the 4 o'clock hour, you got people working within the city right now of the spoils system that were appointed that don't have the business acumen. And that's what bothers me, because they're not good for business. And if they're going to push your business out, then what's going to happen when they push your business out, who's next? Which domino is next to fall?
Well, Larry, and I 100% agree with you. I think before you get into city government, before you become a councilman, do you own a business? Have you ever ran a business?
Have you written checks? Have you paid taxes?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff is important to me, and that's the things I will look at this next election. Are you a career politician? What have you actually done? Have you ever went and flipped burgers, mowed a lawn, for income?
Or are you a dreaded lobbyist? Or again, all those kind of evil words that have been associated. But it is a scary situation. And again, for me, it was more so of how do folks, again, where you're talking about deaf ears, where this also too of those folks calling to our show, trying to make their voices heard. That still might fall on deaf ears, but it's something of, do we just not so much quote unquote attack them, but it's pretty much of saying, hey, we got to go front and center to them, get their attention, and say, hey, I don't like what's happening here. I love this team, and here's the reasons why we need to keep them here.
And I mean, we have fans in Wyoming that are they have passion about the Stampede, unlike any other teams I've ever been involved with. And both I've been involved with Wyoming hockey, 14 years or 13 years prior to the Stampede. And we brought it to the city of Cheyenne because of it was a good fit at the time. We had meetings with the mayor, the meetings with the rec department, and all that we knew was normal has went away. All that we knew, the reasons we brought this team to Cheyenne, Wyoming, all that has went away. We have no more additional income streams to help pay for what we need. We don't get the crowd. There's just so many little pieces that have all stacked up to be the perfect storm, and now we've got the city taking a big swat at us. So, they have. We tried. You remember this summer when we finally got a contract. I was happy we got a contract, and I think one of you asked me, either you, Larry or Nick, you asked me, well, what's going to happen? Can you make it? And my comment was, don't know. And when it comes down to doing the books, and I have a very good person that keeps track of our accounting, and it comes down, and it's just worse and worse and worse every year, where I am going to have to throw in money just to pay bills. It's not making it with the city increases, with the loss of revenue streams, and they just keep on going away. And I can't raise ticket prices. It's ridiculous. I feel our ticket prices are ridiculous right now.
And then let me on the devil's side here, where they, hey, really, then you should sell it. That would be the reaction that I'm seeing in the paper. Would be, hey, you know what? If it's not working for you, Mark, then yeah, maybe you should sell it, and we'll work with the new ownership. But like you said too, if the new ownership comes in, unless they're local, if it's from Los Angeles or it's from Buffalo, New York, or wherever, Windsor, Colorado, the franchise is gone. And this, ladies and gentlemen, just so we are all under the same umbrella on this, this is the only local franchise we have left. We've tried indoor football. What did they do? They bellied up after about 3 games. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is no other local area franchise that we have. So you want to push the Stampede out of town, City of Cheyenne? Go for it. Mark Lantz just told you. He and his wife are putting money in out of their own pocket. I feel your pain. You know I do. You and I have had these discussions, and if you don't think I pony up money to this place, then you're in another stratosphere as well. You have to, because you got to keep the business running.
Right.
And
right.
You have to fight the obstacles. Well, what we're trying to do with this program today, we're trying to fight the obstacle. Yes, it is City Hall right now. It is an obstacle. If City Hall doesn't want to bend, then you know what? It's their loss. And that's the way I look at it.
It's their loss, but also, too, it's going to trickle down, and it's going to be the city's loss where even
But do they care?
I'm just saying, talking the impact of local businesses losing that revenue, even as you talked about, I do believe last hour where we didn't say it on air but off air, the Greek Festival. Folks are worried that the Greek Festival that it's going to be a major impact to that event where, again, your players who do, again, that community service outreach to the city of Cheyenne, they're the setup crew, the takedown crew for the Creek Festival.
Yeah,
but it's been here forever and ever, Mark.
Yeah, it's been here forever and ever. But they've also told us that. I mean, they've told us without our help that it doesn't happen, and that kind of stuff is going to hurt me personally. That's going to make my heart ache.
But the thing is, though, articles that we saw in yesterday's paper and comments by those in charge of the city, those are hurting more than anything. To me, it means they don't give a damn whether you stay or go because they're not making any money off you.
That's the exact feeling that I've had, and if folks would want to keep the Stampede here, and I've made this public known. Yeah, we're looking for an investor. We're looking for a group of locals that want to take it on. It just comes down to the point with all the perfect little pieces that have been stacked up against us. My war chest is gone for the Stampede. I cannot afford to keep the team running on Mark and Tammy's back. So it's come down to that.
Okay, well, here's what it comes down to here on this program. What does the Stampede need, and this is the forum to say it. What does the Stampede need so it doesn't bleed the Lantzes to the point of no return? Obviously we talk about ice time. Obviously we need a reduction in cost on ice. Do the boards make the difference again for you to help it defray costs? What does the city, again, if Nick and I were the city here and we're writing this down, what could we do for you?
Well, I mean, the reduction in ice time, primetime ice. I mean, the ice, if we take a look at what the ice costs around the state of Wyoming, where we live.
Give me an average.
$135 is.
And we pay?
We pay about $190 to $200 an hour for primetime ice. And I believe we negotiated down to $150 an hour for non-primetime dead ice. So it's still above the average. We need the advertising revenue to run, to operate. I mean, folks, when you look at a jersey, just a simple jersey, and if you're watching live on Periscope, you can see Nick's jersey.
I got again the beautiful Stampede jersey.
That jersey's a pro weight jersey. It's not a little cheap.
Oh no, everything's stitched on. It's all professional.
It's not a kid's jersey. That front logo has 55,000 stitches in it. That front logo is ridiculous. You should try to go get that done at an embroidery shop. Those jerseys are $100 a copy, minimum. Plus they have to be shipped here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything adds up. You look at a stick. I will not call it a twig because no one knows. If you look at a hockey stick is $200. These kids play with pro sticks. It's $200 a copy. I believe one of my kids went through 14 or 15 of those sticks in one season. It's the same thing in baseball. You know what a bat costs anymore.
Absolutely.
A good bat is ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of money that goes out. And so, yeah, we need the help on, to do the advertising, which there's zero done on dasher boards out there. There's the reduction in fees, but because quite frankly, you're not going to get a family of 4 or 5 or 6 to come out there at what our ticket prices have to be to make the budget. And that's the Lantzes. That's Mark Lantz taking zero salary. I have never taken a salary, ever, from the team. And, this rumor going around that we're getting rich on this, no, we're getting poor. It's exactly the opposite way. And believe me, with Tammy's astute ability on money and numbers and accounting, it's not going to happen.
But you're the atypical small business guy. You and myself had this discussion. We generate enough to keep the lights on and the door open. And when we get, and Nick, you'll agree with me, I had my engineer up here the other day, because of Mother Nature.
Mm.
And I got a brand new $17,000 transmitter sitting out at my site, and one little wire blew a big chip out of it.
Yep.
Guess what? I got to pay for that. And it's not where it falls within insurance either. It's right there in that middle part. So it's going to come out of Uncle Larry's pocket. So whenever a cost comes about, and again, any small business person out there feels our pain right now, and they know exactly what we're going through. Like you said, going on road trips, paying for hotels. Okay? This is not subsidized by the state. This is subsidized by the Stampede.
Yep.
They're paying, they're picking up the ticket. And this is what's driving me nuts about all of this. Like I said, I want to play the city here, and that's what, if we're sitting down and we're negotiating, which somebody should be from the city that has any business sense, and sit down and say, okay, Mark, we can't go from 150 down to the average of 125 in the state. Can we meet in the middle at 135? Is that going to make you happy?
Well, it's going to help.
Yeah, okay. And then how about if we give you half the boards? Is that going to help?
Yep, there's things that would help.
Hey, to the city, might want to put me on staff.
There's things that would help, and quite frankly, when we sat down to negotiate, they weren't willing to negotiate. It was not a negotiation. In fact, I walked out of 2, if not 3, negotiation meetings because I know what the budget is. This is, it's just a bunch of little pieces all piled up into one big piece where, we don't generate the income that we need to generate right now. And I know exactly how to turn that around, but is Cheyenne fans willing to pay for that? Probably not. You need some disposable income to bring in a different quality of a player, a different skilled player. There's different things that can be done to grow that, to put us in the top of the division like we always have been, except for the last 2 years, maybe 3.
Is that also a hindrance against you right now, too, last 2 seasons?
Yep, it's absolutely a hindrance. It's absolutely, and that comes down to doing, better recruiting, better skilled players to make it go. And, we say, Cheyenne's fickle, they don't come. They do come. I mean, close to 1,000 in the stands Saturday night, and Friday night was big. So
it's something that you and also Tammy has brought up of saying that, what is it, 4th most attended, at least franchises in Western State Hockey League of amount of fans that just show up even through the best or the worst times. They still show up, though.
All right, we got a quick call. Let's take that, and then we got to go into our
I think we got a head coach on the line with us.
All right, well, let's go to the phone line here real quick. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Hey, boys, it's Coach Breen.
How you doing, Breen?
Good. I just wanted to add, and I don't know if this has been said yet or not. I kind of tuned in late. Sorry, we were getting the ultrasound for the baby. But, one thing I think the city has not acknowledged is that this is for the kids, man. These kids are getting an opportunity at the NCAAs, going to college and playing hockey in college. And I feel like the lack of support is almost a kick in the groin, because it's like, well, we're trying to make money, or we don't negotiate with kids or whatever. And the simple fact is, we're here for the kids to move on to the next level. That's the sole purpose of our business.
All right,
and
Coach.
That's something we've talked multiple times with you, at least on the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show.
And we do appreciate the call there. We got to get into a break.
And we'll talk with you tomorrow on the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show. So
be here. Aloha. All right, we are going to take a time out. We'll be back with more right here on 1480 KRAE.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC. Check out this simple math equation. Add new games with new fun, and it equals new ways of winning at Wyoming Downs. Check out the newest simulcasting games on display today featuring Great American Buffalo, Midnight Wolf, and Kiss Me I'm Irish to go along with more exciting simulcasting games in play. Remember to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays and double points on Mondays. Also Fridays and Saturdays, play Mystery Moolah. Plus check out all of the other promotions going on every week at Wyoming Downs with 2 locations to have fun in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Linkaway and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to wydowns.com.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Community banking for you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, it's going to be partly sunny. Look for a daytime high of 45. Mostly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 23. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. Expect a daytime high of 52. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 30 degrees. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 42 degrees.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
I want to thank Coach Breen joining us on our Wyoming Sports Talk today. And again,
Coach Breen will join us tomorrow, 4:30 on the Cheyenne Stampede.
And we'll talk about Casper.
We'll talk about the 2 out of 3 victories again this past weekend. Again, as there's still hockey going on, they still have one more series coming up against the Ogden Mustangs for the Cheyenne Stampede. As it's again a push to get in 4th place to jump over Steamboat. Again, 1 point behind the Steamboat Wranglers right now. So hopefully the Stampede can get it done on the road.
Well, anyway, I want to thank him. Didn't mean to cut him off here, but we were past the commercial break. Mark, I'll throw it open to you one last time here, and then we are going to send you on your way because we kept you here longer than than expected on this deal. But what are the things
can this community do to help? And again, too, I know you're not trying to, rally the troops and put them in a Trojan horse, and then we're going to park it in front of O'Neill Avenue, and then they open it up, and everybody's going to come out and go, hey, what's the matter with you? So what other things can be done? We've tried here, even our end, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, on the commercial where we were asking for, individual support. I know you're not here saying, give me $1, give me $2. I think and if I read you wrong, you stop me. You're saying, give me a break.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm looking for both, Larry. I mean, it's come down to the point that I told you that the war chest has been depleted. We need some new investors. I'd like to have some new blood into it. Whether that's me stepping out all the way, staying as one of the principals, or staying as an employee to help a new owner, I'll say a foreign owner, know what's going on. I'm willing to do that, but there needs to be the city needs to renegotiate with us in good faith and actually do something.
Do you feel it coming?
No.
Okay.
We've spoken with the administration here earlier, and they said they would arrange something. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. My back is against the wall again on deadlines. And so, I mean, maybe it's we bring in a new group of local investors that want to throw in some money, and we continue going forward. And I can phase out right off into the sunset is what I want. I think
go on your Alaska, these fishing trips that we talked about, last month when you announced that you were looking for investors. So, again, you need a break. I didn't realize that you're younger than Pops, apparently. Or did I say that out loud?
Oh, they said that.
I said that out loud.
Why can we make this a package deal? They buy you and then take the radio station as that way they can have all their games on there. Then I could retire too.
Yeah, well, it's needing, that's what needs to happen. I mean, it's all these little bits and pieces that have added up into the perfect storm. They've all kind of come together, and frankly, yeah, I would keep the team here status quo if I would try to make a go of it. I haven't thought about that because right now, financially, it's impossible. Financially, I cannot make it and keep it solvent. If we had a group of investors that wanted to hop on and help do that, because there's a certain quality that we have and you've got to portray for players to even come to you. And so, I mean, you can't do this on the cheap. Never have been able to, and it's something that I won't do.
If there are local investors or investors that are interested in working with you in partnering up with the Cheyenne Stampede, what is the best way to get a hold of you, Mark?
Well, the best way is just to email me at gm@CheyenneStampede.com, and we can open a dialogue and go forward.
Yeah, but after our discussion here today with the city, do you think anybody would want to get involved now?
Well, I mean, it's still.
I'm just throwing it out there.
If you look at what the franchise license, just the franchise license is $150,000, just to have the license, and I will still own the license. I'll still own the territory because if I do shut it down, the team will just go dormant, and that means I still control the territory. I still have a franchise license here. If I'm bought out, that needs to be worked on, and we can go forward. Like Nick says, I'd like to spend a little more time in Alaska fishing. So
you can use it.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much. And we wish you and Tammy all the best. We hope that this program at least opens the door, paves the way, that the city will get off their dead rear ends and, realize that, hey, you might be pushing out yet another local business. Now, whether you care or not, that's entirely up to you. But, Mark, thank you so much for dropping by.
Thanks,
we do
boys.
need to take a time out. We will be back with more Wyoming Sports Talk today here on 1480 KRAE.
Thanks, guys.
MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in both Cheyenne and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lccc.wy.edu/yourstory.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Weather-wise for today, it's going to be partly sunny. Look for a daytime high of 45. Mostly cloudy for tonight with our low down to 23. Mostly sunny for tomorrow. Expect a daytime high of 52. Partly cloudy Tuesday night with our low down to 30 degrees. And for Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny. We're calling for a daytime high of 42 degrees.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, our final 15 minutes that we get a chance to chat stuff off the ice as we get to talk about some baseball and basketball. Real quick here, just
as I say, we could keep it on the ice. There's a few teams that have been making trades throughout, or at least movements through NHL, but granted, you don't pay attention.
Well, no, because I wait till the playoffs. That's all I wait now till, and hopefully the Avalanche will be one of the teams in the postseason. Rockies have agreed to a 3-year contract extension with manager Buddy Black. So he's guided them to back-to-back playoff appearances. The contract now runs through the 2022 season. So that kind of tells me
good on the Rockies, yeah.
No, the Rockies, that they're going to be serious on getting Arenado signed. I told you they were going to do that.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay. But anyway, and it was interesting. I was watching a highlight yesterday from Talking Stick, which is out there.
Highlight from spring training.
No. But I want to mention what was entertaining about it, besides the Arenado home run, is that everybody was in long sleeves and guys are wearing coats. I mean, this is Arizona, yeah. And we always have that picture. And you and me were down there in March, mid-March, a few years back, and it was like 90-plus degrees.
Hey, guess what? Weather happens.
Yeah.
How surprising.
Oh, they've had their share of rain and snow, even a little higher up there over in Flagstaff, about 2 hours away. Also, on the baseball scene, the Dodgers have now
up the ante, so to speak. They've had their opportunity to.
Dodgers have been a team that's been quiet about the Bryce Harper thing. You can only assume it was a team that's probably put out interest for Bryce Harper, but.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this guy Scott Boras? Isn't he the man? I mean, the agent for for Harper. But anyway, I mean,
like I keep tags on who's the manager or at least agent of whoever.
Well,
but I'm just saying at least sources have come out and supposedly Bryce Harper is going to make his decision by the end of this week. That it is a guarantee that we will finally know where Bryce Harper is going to sign. Is it LA? Is it going to be with the Giants? Is it going to be with the Phillies? Those are kind of the three teams right now that have surfaced, that have probably got the best push, probably have the best odds to land Bryce Harper. But it's ultimately his decision. And again, supposedly the decision will come at the end of this week. Right now, folks are still leaning towards the Phillies, that he might still stay in the NL East, go with the Phillies that have a team that is young to build around Bryce Harper.
But I hear he's cooling off on the Phillies just simply for the fact it's Philadelphia. And they can be, again, we're not talking about a guy that hits 300 annually. We're talking about a guy that hits about 240.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he hits a lot of home runs. And
we're talking about a Phillies team that is growing. Again, it has a good farm system. It showed promise last year, even though finishing behind the Atlanta Braves. For the Philadelphia Phillies, it is a team that you can certainly build around.
Well, here's the Harper.
Also, too, it is a franchise that was in the World Series, at least does have a World Series ring of, it was over a decade ago, but I mean, it has won more than the Phillies, or at least down the road with at least the Washington Nationals. Certainly has a more relevant one than the LA Dodgers.
No, and I agree with you, but here's the deal, too, with the Phillies. I think the Phillies want the Manny Machado deal, the 10 years, and let's just say $40 million. Say it's a $400 million contract.
I don't think I don't know what to expect.
I think the Dodgers and the Giants are sitting around that 6-year deal, that 5-year deal.
I really doubt, especially where the meeting down in L.A. with the Dodgers, supposedly the key thing that a insider source saw there after the meeting, or at least the meeting spot between the Dodgers front office and Bryce Harper, was there was supposedly a armored car, a Brinks armored car, and you can only imagine hey, maybe that was at least a little showmanship of saying, hey, look at all the cash we can get you here, Bryce Harper, if you sign with the LA Dodgers. It was kind of a little tongue-in-cheek, kind of fun little part of the article, but I would not doubt the Dodgers, who are funded, have a lot of money behind them. Again, the footing with Magic Johnson and his investors, the Dodgers can afford 10 years. They can put up that money and not care. I think the Dodgers absolutely could do that. Again, the second largest market in the U.S., have a lucrative TV deal down there. Dodgers can afford 10 years. They could put up a lot of money if they really wanted to.
And the Giants can too. The Giants,
they could compete with Dodgers.
The Giants could compete with Dodger money. You know, again, the luxury tax is not a scare to San Francisco. And again, since they've made the move to AT&T, this is a franchise that has made a pile of money. They got 3 world championships. They've got the better product to offer.
This is a deal.
Harper.
This is a signing of, again, to be determined of what happens by the end of this week, of where he goes, what he signs for. But it's the key factor for me, for Bryce Harper, of, is he going to go somewhere where he wants to win now, or did he really just want money? Did he want to just solidify his career and solidify kind of his bank accounts of just getting paid, which, again, I have no issue with. Go right ahead. Get your money right here and now if you have that opportunity. But this is going to be the telltale factor of where I thought going into this offseason for Bryce Harper, he was going to exhaust all options of teams that were going to allow him to win now. Get that championship. The Nationals aren't that team, and I think he realized that. But was it for the money this offseason, or is he going to go somewhere where he wants to win a championship, he wants to win a World Series now? And that decision, the big decision coming up, that's going to be the determining factor for me of what's Bryce Harper's intentions.
Yeah, well, we'll hopefully find out by Friday. A couple of football notes. You brought one up, but let me get to this one here. It looks like the Raiders possibly will be back one more year, final year, in the Oakland Coliseum.
Who cares?
Well, I have a lot of friends in the East Bay that are Raiders.
Guess what? Enjoy it for 1 year, and then they're gone.
Yeah, then they're
Guess
going to move off to the 65,000 seat.
They're going to put up a middle finger to the city of Oakland and go, hey, we're now in Vegas.
But
we're
anyway,
the Las Vegas Raiders.
Here's the kicker. Coliseum Authority Director Scott McKibben said today that the two sides are having good constructive talks for finalizing a new lease for 2019 with an option for 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong. The 2020 season will be in Las Vegas, right?
Well, that's when that stadium should be up and ready for at least the Las Vegas Raiders. So that option, questionable, kind of stupid. And it would be amazing if the Raiders took up that option where, again, you have a brand-new billion-dollar, brand-new facility, and you're going to pass it up for the Coliseum.
We'll take the lease for 1 year, and that's it. No.
I would hope so. I don't think Mark Davis is that much of an idiot.
No. But also, too, you might want to protect yourself just in case the stadium isn't ready, though. There's that possibility.
Trust me, of how they build stadiums now.
How they build things in Vegas.
It took under a year to build at least the Las Vegas, the AAA affiliate for the Oakland Athletics. It took them under a year to build a brand new ballpark. Granted, yes, it's not Major League, but it is still, again, a stadium, and they built that under a year there in Summerlin.
Well, we'll see how things
we are
go.
in 2019 where they can advance things pretty quickly.
And final thought, and we kind of commented about it, and again, I still have my opinion on the XFL, the new XFL, which gets into business next year. Vince McMahon, his group, and again, the team owners in various cities right now are starting to go after names that are synonymous.
So I don't know if it's the team owners.
Areas.
It's more so it sounds like the XFL are recruiting. And again, it's an XFL
you don't think
decision.
Ownerships?
Who knows what the owners are doing right now in the XFL, if anything at all. I feel like this is a ploy more by executives with the XFL, maybe a Vince McMahon thing, or possibly Commissioner Oliver Luck. It might be a concerted effort by a lot of parties in the XFL, but they are right now trying to appease the local fans. We saw it with Bob Stoops, again, synonymous in Oklahoma. Again, well known in the Big 12. That reaches down into Texas. So he is the new head coach and also too GM for that Texas franchise in Dallas. Again, we had a recent signing out in Washington, D.C. For a head coach, and now most recently in Seattle with a very well-known Seattle Seahawk, or at least former Seattle Seahawk.
First quarterback of the Seahawks franchise, one southpaw, Jim Zorn. So he would take.
Who was also too former head coach for the Washington Redskins. So again, has had that.
Was he the head coach here? I thought he was a quarterback. Yeah, he did coach for a very short period of time. Yeah, did not have much success.
But again, he's well known there in Seattle. Again, a former Seahawk, starting out with that franchise when it exists. So it's kudos to the XFL of, again, trying to appease to those local fans of saying, hey, come support our teams. Here's local big names that you know that you can come by and cheer on.
All right.
I'm glad you had something to add to that one.
No, I don't. I mean, like I said, I can see what the XFL is doing. It's trying to get these cities fired up, these franchise cities that, hey, you know what? We are, like you said, they're going to be a bigger and better product. And, oh, by the way,
yeah, they're competing against the NFL.
And we're going to bring you people that you can relate to, that you know are proven winners.
Yeah.
So, again, maybe Seattle didn't have the success under Coach Patera at the time since they were the new franchise, but Zorn was a pretty good southpaw quarterback. And, as he paid his dues after he retired, he went through the coaching ranks, and now he gets that opportunity to come back to Seattle and revive another 12th-man scenario.
Yeah.
So, again, Bob Stoops had his day with Oklahoma. Now he's going to try the professional ranks, so we'll see who will be the next name to be mentioned. Real quick here, we want to mention and congratulations to our 6 teams competing in the regional tournament, which is going to be hosted by East Thursday. All 3 ladies' games will be at the Thunderdome. All 3 men's games will be in Story Gym. And again, this is going to be the first time this is done in Class 4A in my 30-some years here.
It's not a great.
It's going to be kind of wacky.
It's double
It's not a
elimination.
great system, at least with the Wyoming High School Athletics Association created. Again, this double elimination format, not to speak for coaches, but it does give, and again, for a Cheyenne South boys team, hey, if you are to make it to the loser bracket, hey, you're not done day one. You still have a chance to hit that 3 or 4 seed. You know, it certainly is good for that, but it also, too, it spurs that kind of moment where maybe a South team could surprise a team that was early exited, moving down to that loser's bracket of, well, South caught fire, then the upset, for instance, maybe number 1 East, if they are to fall down to that loser's bracket. There are some, for me, a little issues with that, at least double elimination kind of format, especially in the regional tournament. But either way, though, it is a format. We'll see how it goes this year. There's going to be a lot of games.
Well, the interesting part of games, we're going to have a lot of basketball here on 1480 KRAE. There will be a time where we won't be on 1480 KRAE, and that would be you and me. That'll be Friday night, 7 p.m. We will be on our Periscope via Twitter and 1480 KRAE on the YouTube side, as we will have number 3 seed, the Laramie County Community College Lady Golden Eagles matched up with the number 6 seed. That would be the Central Wyoming College Lady Rustlers in the first round of the playoffs. And again, what you do is you win here, then you move on to quote-unquote March Madness, which would be...
You're already in March Madness.
Well,
this is the start of it. It's just the first round.
But you got to win this one to get into the official qualifier. You know what I mean? You need to get into the quarterfinals.
You need to win the round of 64 as well too to advance on it in the national tournament, right? So
well, I
mean, it's still a tournament style where you are matched up seedings, and then again, it will all be seedings will at least basically you get reseeded once you get into where you're matching up against South teams. So,
right, you'll be going up against
and
Region
again, it
9
will
South.
be for the women's side, it will be a neutral site. It is determined for the South winner, which was Western Nebraska. So the women will play all if they are to advance on past that first round, their games, that second round tournament will happen in Scottsbluff for the men. With Sheridan winning, all those games will be happening up at Sheridan.
And they
College.
actually won the coin flip because I think they lost to Casper on Saturday, but they ended up winning the coin flip, so it will be.
They have a lovely
Sheridan.
coin flip of where
Now-
you can't break down to figure out if it was Casper or Sheridan. No, you got to flip a coin.
And unfortunately, we can't be 2 places at once, and we had already had the discussion with Coach Jason Fick on the way home. They were planning on leaving Friday, for their game on Saturday, so, we just can't be 2 places at once. So the men will be, and if I'm not mistaken, I think CWC will bring the game on there, don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know if they video stream or not, but anyway.
Do I care?
Well, their crew was there this weekend, just letting you know. So
Folks should be tuning into our broadcast to see the women.
Right. We'll keep you updated on the score. Anyway, they're the number 4 seed. We ended up the number 5.
That's how that would work.
Great game, though. I will give you this. The men played sensational.
You're going to have rematches of games that we just, or at least, again, of 2 teams that you saw this past Saturday. So,
great rally by the ladies and a sensational start to finish.
It's tough to beat a team 3 times. For the men, it's going to be tough to go back up again and defeat Central Wyoming in the fashion that they did this past
If they
Saturday.
do play like that, that's the team we've been waiting for all season long. If they go up there, they're going to be tough to beat. So anyway, we are looking forward to that game coming up. That will be Saturday,
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and then our game Friday night at 7 p.m. All right, we got to wrap things up. Coming up here, we have Sherlock Holmes Times 2 from 8 until 9, and Suspense Theater from 9 until 10. And again, the best of the 50s and 60s.